Is that yes? Okay. Welcome to Conversate with the Black Press. This is where Black journalists and critics of culture discuss facts and fiction and headlines that drive American culture. It's Black comic relief you won't find anywhere else. So, look, he's already laughing. We got Austin and Barrington's laughing already. We're not used to him laughing, right? We're used to him burning stuff down. But here he is laughing. So fake news is one of the things that I wanted to talk about today. The consequences of fake news, right? We know that, of course, it became very popular during the Trump administration. Everything was fake news. Even real news to him was fake news, particularly if it didn't sit well with him. But there are consequences to fake news, and journalists, many journalists, have run with that fake news, right? We've seen headlines that are misleading. For instance, a good example is that right here in D.C., right in 2016, the Pizzagate situation. You recall that, Austin? Barrington knows it well, right?
Yeah. A running theme among MAGA Republicans and the far right is that Hollywood, most Democrats, and anybody who opposes their agenda are pedophiles who are grooming children. And some dude, a pretty young guy,
he traveled too.
He traveled from wherever he was and came to DC to some pizza parlor that they had been talking about, was where they had children and they were grooming them and stuff. And did he shoot somebody?
Well, no one got killed. He did shoot someone. He shot up the pizza shop.
Yeah. So that is a consequence.
Yeah.
And it seems to be driven more now by the folks who are supposed to be the leaders of what used to be the GOP. And so folks that's their quick out for anybody who opposes them.
Well, as I recall, that came out during the that whole incident was during the 2016 campaign.
Yes.
And another sad side effect of it is 6-7 years later, people still believe.
Yeah.
Right.
That was happening in this in this pizza shop.
Mm-hmm.
There are those who Trump still talks about it. I heard him
Really?
mention it. Yeah, he mentioned it in a campaign speech about a month or so ago. Every chance he gets, he goes after Hillary Clinton as if she is still on the ticket. So that kind of nonsense helped get him elected. Mm-hmm. And that type of nonsense is positioning him. He's in a very good position, I believe, to get the Republican nomination. Now, whether he wins, that's a whole different thing. But I think he's in a good position to get the nomination. Who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him?
You know who's going to stop him?
Who?
The criminal so-called justice system.
The wheels are turning too slow.
Nah.
They've been turning slow for the past couple of years. And he has said at CPAC the other day that if he is indicted, he's still going to run.
In Jamaica, they say malt make for talk. When all this stuff starts, when all this stuff starts dropping on him, we'll see.
Well, the thing about it though, so it's about fake news being adopted by media, right? And social media, of course, is a big culprit, right? And social media really was what fueled that situation in DC with the pizza shop.
Yeah.
And there was so much on social media about that. But then there are other examples. I mean, we talk about Trump. So the big lie led to what? What did that lead to?
The insurrection.
January 6th.
So there are consequences when you are, pushing fake news.
And another consequence is the current speaker, Kevin McCarthy, turning over to Tucker Carlson 44,000 hours of video coverage. As I've said before, I don't believe that the U.S. Capitol will ever be as safe as it was before.
No, it's not.
Because of that. It was traitorous what he did.
Well, you have members now, and since the Republicans have taken control of the U.S. House of Representatives, now they instill their rules. They've removed the metal detectors. You don't need to go through a metal detector to get to the floor anymore.
And they said that they can carry guns on the floor if they want.
And you have folks like Lauren Boebert who said they're definitely carrying their weapons.
Well, this is the thing, Lauren Boebert from, I think she's from Colorado, Republican from Colorado, who a couple of months ago said that had Jesus Christ himself had an AK-47 on the cross, he would not have been crucified. So that is the kind of intellect or non-intellect that we are dealing with too many members of the
on both
MAGA
sides
crowd.
too, right? Though it's not just the MAGA crowd, though, right? Because you got to believe that the other side do push some of this stuff quietly, though.
You think so?
Oh, without question.
But it wouldn't benefit them.
Well, here's the thing. If the Democrats, and we don't want to really make this a political discussion, but if the Democrats were really serious about what they say, right? Look, they had control over all three branches of government, right? For 2 years.
I think Democrats are afraid. I think they're afraid of ruling, and I think they're afraid of Republicans. Republicans most times scorch earth.
Yeah.
Nothing's left when they're done.
Well, when they make up their mind, right?
Yeah.
Roe v. Wade was a 1973 situation, which they decided in 1973 that come what may, they were going to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
And chipped away over a period of 50 years. Democrats, in my opinion, don't play the long game the way Republicans do. And they don't have the same, scorch your earth strategy that in particular, this new Republican Party has.
Now, I have to say, you got three men sitting here, and then Misha Green walks in looking the way she's looking. What are we supposed to do about that? What are we supposed to do about that? I want to know.
We're matching.
Shoot. Good Lord, girl. Anyway, see, you just do the whole podcast off. Oh, Lord. Barrington, I'm appalled.
You notice that I'm sitting here quietly, right?
Yeah, your wife is over there. My wife is not even here. So I can get away with that. Okay. At least for the moment. Until somebody drops dime.
I'm going to go back into... I saw a headline the other day that Lauren Boebert's son, I think he's 16 or 17, and his girlfriend, who's 15, is pregnant.
Yeah.
Now, that's laughable.
Good
because
night.
She's always been running around talking about like they're super righteous and holy and morality and all that stuff. But now she's like, I'm going to be a 36-year-old grandmother.
Well, and what do they say? It's usually stereotype, though, right?
Yeah.
About 36-year-old black grandmothers, right?
Mm-hmm. But you don't hear anybody talking about that, right?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Of course
the same thing happened with, I guess, during the 2008 campaign with Governor Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
I mean,
her daughter. Was it her daughter?
Her daughter.
Yes.
Her daughter, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bring in the funny. Bring in the noise. Bring the noise. That's what Chuck D said. Bring the noise. We got more than we got a producer now. We got a director. We got Mimi walking in. Somebody gonna jump out of the cake sooner or later. What's going on here? That's what Bobby Henry's over there waiting for. He's not waiting for the 2-minute warning. Bobby waiting for somebody to jump out the cake. That's all he's over there for. That's what those folks down in South Florida do.
Florida is where woke go to die.
Woke go to die.
We hope.
Yeah. Ain't nobody jumping out of the cake here. We're in our studio here. Leave it alone, Bobby. But seriously though, Orson Welles showed us.
Orson Welles. Not Austin, Orson Welles.
I didn't call him Austin, did I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't ask y'all. Good Lord. I thought I was the host. They turned it on me here. I'm not going for this.
At the table.
I don't want people to say, oh my God, Stacey's so stupid. He said,
listen,
Austin
they can say what they want. They can say what they want. I got this letter here. I mean, I want to talk about
that letter. Don't worry about that letter. Say what you were saying
Orson Welles. Orson Welles.
So you almost said Austin again.
Back in your day, in 1938, Orson. Orson.
Orson.
O-R-S-O-N. It's like that.
O-R-S-O-N, right?
It's like that character. My man Robin Williams, Mork, calling Orson.
Oh, God.
Is that what it is?
Years ago.
I can't win. I can't win.
I'm like, really?
I can't win.
Say what you said about War in the Worlds.
You say it now.
If I remember the conversation, you were saying that that people were that most of
It
the
started
year
fake
was
news. Fake news was 100
Yeah.
years ago, almost.
Yeah.
1938.
Yeah.
Come on, get with the program here. Goodness grief. What do I have to do here to get these guys on the same page?
We'll
my
never be
God.
on your page.
Why not?
Because
What's
you're
wrong with my
strange.
page?
Because you're strange.
I'm straight.
Well, we love you. Well, we love you.
I feel like I'm in the intervention
Talk
right now.
about Orson Welles.
I really do. We were talking about something really serious here. I feel like y'all turning on me here, and
Not at all.
I'm
Never.
just not feeling
Never.
good about it.
Never. Not live. Never.
Not live. Listen.
Go on.
Anyway,
Go fearless leader.
let's get back to the basics here. Orson Welles in 1938 pulled the biggest fake news of that time, right? War of the World. People fell for it. So there were consequences to that as well, right?
What were the consequences?
Well, it was a big panic.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, a panic is not consequence, huh?
No, that's a result of something, cause and effect. I don't think it was a consequence.
Moving on. Good Lord, this is not good.
Is it going how you expected it to go?
I think y'all planned this, and I don't like
No,
it.
we didn't
I'm
plan
telling
it.
you right now, I'm not feeling this right now. I'm not feeling
You
it.
didn't plan anything.
Bobby,
I'm up next, so I'm not.
Bobby's like, I'm staying out of this.
where's Stephen Larkin when I need him? And he's leaving. Men's room. That sounds personal.
Strategic.
But anyway, so as we just totally destroyed this episode, so
Headlines.
so the right.
I'm trying to think. No, go on.
So anyway, I'm talking to Austin now. Forget embarrassing. Austin,
Yes, sir.
you seem to be a very astute
I
gentleman.
am. I try
You
to
write
be.
for a nice publication, a really good
My
publication.
boss said Denise,
Nice.
Alicia, the Washington Informer.
That's nice.
I call it nice, yes.
Okay. There are other adjectives you could use.
Like,
Consequential,
Influential,
influential,
powerful,
powerful,
voice of the people.
potent. You want more? I can give you words out.
I can tell. Okay.
Stop while you can.
Austin Cooper.
Yes, sir.
This guy, I tell you.
This guy.
Anyway, so
The one and only Barrington.
so
No one
here's
like
what
him.
we're gonna do.
I know.
So what we're gonna do, Austin, is
See? She likes
he's in the minority.
and that's important. But it doesn't matter. It's only important. It's only important voice.
That's it.
No other voice matters.
Oh, shoot. So let's talk about the fact that we have seen like these different headlines, these different news items that really turned out to be nothing but, as we said, fake news, right? Mm-hmm. So what does that do for us as journalists? You mentioned beforehand one particular journalist who threw something out there during the George Floyd situation, which really, really caused a stir in itself. Jason Whitlock. What happened there, and explain why that had consequences, negative consequences, especially for certain communities.
Jason Whitlock he used to be a sports writer, and now he's like some commentator for Fox and some other conservative news outlets. And his primary job, I think, is to be the person caping for these folks, Fox and all them people.
Yeah.
So when the 5 cops in Memphis killed Tyree Nichols, he went on social media and said that the reason why these 5 men killed that young man was because they were led by a police chief who's a single mother.
Yeah.
So that just plays into the stereotype that we're always dealing with about the inability of our families to raise good children.
I don't know if I always feel that when these folks make these crazy kinds of comments, that they actually believe it. Well, I don't know that he actually believes that, but they do it just to be controversial and to get headlines. I mean, look at what happened with Tucker Carlson. You know, the emails and the texts that have been released in the last 2 or 3 weeks, in which he is expressing his disdain for Donald Trump. Yet he is still doing whatever he can to position Donald Trump
Right.
favorably position him for the 2024 nomination and possible election. So I think far too often these folks make statements, they're racist statements, but not knowing. I don't know that I don't think Donald Trump in his heart believed that Barack Obama was born in Kenya.
Really?
I don't think so.
I
think
agree.
he just said that
agree.
kind of
I think-
craziness.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it
he
was
has
something
to,
crazy to say
and he has
that
to
just
keep it
grabbed
going.
headline, and he
Yeah.
had to keep
He
it
has to
going
keep
in order
going.
to maintain.
Yeah,
There's
I
no way
agree.
he can reverse himself now.
Because if you talk to people closest to him, they say what a goddamn racist he is and has always been. So if that's the case, I don't see any reason. I don't see anything.
Well, he
that,
could be a racist.
He can be
Both
racist
things
and
could
not
be
say
true,
something
though.
crazy like that.
He doesn't
Yeah.
really believe that Obama is not a U.S. Citizen.
I wouldn't even put money on that.
Oh, I wouldn't either. But I'm just saying both things can be true, though, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good point, though. But you go back to when Obama became president, and you think about it wasn't just white folks who were going after Obama, right? I mean, we all kind of dig Jesse Jackson, but even he made his feelings known at one point on NBC News, right? MSNBC.
You mean hot mic?
On a hot mic, yeah. And so we get both sides, right?
Absolutely.
You get black folks and white folks pushing a stereotype.
Yeah.
Chris Rock, everyone talks about that stand-up he did a couple of weeks ago, and there was a lot of things there that people just didn't appreciate. But one thing, you talk about pushing a stereotype. What did he say about Will Smith? He says
he wished that he whipped or something like that.
Well, no, he said, among other things, he said that the reason why he didn't hit back, he said he was raised.
Right.
No, he didn't say raised right. He said I was raised. And so what does that do? What type of stereotype does that lead into, right?
Agreed. I mean,
like black folks don't have parents or at least fathers.
Or Will Smith wasn't raised properly. That's how I took the the insult.
But given what we saw with Chris, right? Given that video that was circulating again from a few years ago,
abhorrent. Yep.
Yeah, with these other comedians, white comedians, and the only comedian that was offended
was Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld, a Jewish guy.
Yeah.
And so that stuff lends itself to what? It lends it to the stereotype. So we are guilty of that. You mentioned Jason Whitlock. You got the Candace Owens. Yeah. You have also Clarence Thomas. We hear about Clarence Thomas all the time. Ben Carson. And poor Herman Cain. Scott. Herman Cain. This guy gave his life for Donald Trump, and
because he's stupid.
And to this day,
he's stupid.
Well, to this day, Donald Trump hasn't even mentioned the man. Yeah. We got somebody dying in the studio over here. We got a EMS. What's happening? You all right? That'll get the ratings up. That's for sure. I mean, it would. Any doctor around? Me? Somebody give this guy mouth to mouth. And that's the problem, right? Now, Barron's like, my wife ain't giving nobody mouth to mouth. He over here shaking with that cane over here. She ain't giving nobody mouth to mouth.
You just want to mess with me, right? That's
okay. No, I'm just saying.
Don't start.
Listen, if that was me over there, I want some attention.
Okay.
But anyway.
Why don't you go give him mouth to mouth?
That will never happen. I will do his eulogy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Those compression?
It's to staying alive. It's a song.
Okay. Oh, really?
Staying alive.
I know
Staying alive.
Oh, shoot.
Denise and Misha singing.
Oh.
So we had to be trained and I didn't know that. I guess it was like the American Red Cross or something.
The American Red Cross came to my school where we train
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
The American Heart Association. So this episode might be brought to you by the American Heart Association.
It might be. Hopefully it will be.
Oh, that's good water.
That's a good one, Denise.
Shoot. Anyway, well, I mean, look, listen, Deer Park, give us some money. We welcome your money. Look, let me tell you something. I have learned being around the black press for 10 years, folks ain't afraid to ask for money. In fact, sometimes they ask for money when they shouldn't. Well, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, but you missed that, huh? That's true. Anyway.
Fake news headlines.
Yeah, you were gonna say?
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
Well, no, I mean what we were saying though. There's the fake news we talked about. There's the stereotypes. Mm-hmm. We have so much going on in the culture, right? That if you start tackling one problem, there's always like a dozen others.
Yeah,
that pop up.
Yeah, I mean, but there is a getting back to Trump, there is a solid base of 35, 40%.
30.
30, okay.
30%.
Who will not
don't give them more
okay, 30%
than they deserve.
Who will, no matter what happens, mm-hmm. they're going to stay in his corner no matter what.
Yeah,
that's true. And that's just true, but also very very unfortunate.
But they thrive on fake news because this whole anti-CRT thing mm-hmm. is as fake as you get, because the only place that they're teaching CRT is in universities, not mm-hmm. in high school, not in middle school, not in elementary school. But the lie persists that the so-called woke people are teaching children who are in elementary school and elsewhere, and that's a lie.
Mm-hmm. That's another one.
And that's something that good journalists should be pointing out, but most times they don't.
And the focus, we always hear about DeSantis, but this whole CRT nonsense is becoming more prominent in other, southern states. You hear Greg Abbott; he's not as vocal on it. Mm-hmm. I would say DeSantis is probably the most vocal.
That's because he wants to run for president.
Exactly. But you've got other governors and who are focused on this at the local levels.
Right.
And that's really where it's not really a federal issue yet, but it's a state and it's a local issue. So, who we elect to be our PTA presidents, who we elect to be on our school boards, who we elect as members of our local councils, who we elect as members of the state legislature. These are the kinds of questions mm-hmm. that they are being asked and demanded that they take a position on before getting endorsed, much less getting a vote.
But you see so we again, you talk about fake news, right? So you mentioned CRT, and you see what it's done. Like you said, it's not even taught in schools, right?
No.
But what it's done, though, is started this whole movement by Republican governors to erase Black history. So it's like a cover.
Yeah.
What did DeSantis say? Florida is where wokeness dies, comes to die,
mm-hmm.
rose to die, something.
Yeah. And that word woke, right? That word, it meant something. They've turned that into something totally different now.
Yeah.
It's not what when we say woke, it's different than their meaning, isn't it?
Yeah.
It means, enlightened. It means progressive. It means forward thinking. It means looking at all of the facts, the pros and the cons. But they have brilliantly.
But they are
run with it in the wrong direction.
They're none of those things. They've always been anti-education. They've always been anti-intellectual.
Well, keep in mind, Ronald Reagan wanted to disband the Department of Education.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm. and Bill Gates wants to reform public education.
They Bill Gates has been spending a whole lot of money too.
Yeah.
And that's the other mm-hmm. thing too, right? You have they're spending so much money to defeat something that really doesn't exist. And I'm not talking about Gates, but I'm talking about like going back to these governors, the Florida, Texas. It doesn't exist.
But it serves their purpose mm-hmm. to use that as a cudgel against Black people in general.
And it's a great fundraising tool.
It is.
Yeah.
Because
tool.
As miserable as Marjorie Taylor Greene is, she is the Republicans' number one fundraiser.
Mm-hmm. Well, and speaking,
So-
and so fundraising fund made me think of another thing. Defund the police. That was another thing
Yeah.
that was not the case. It was again fake news, right?
I think we made a tactical error by using that term. We opened ourselves up
Why?
for attack. If you're talking about reforming the police or allotting local dollars elsewhere, then say that.
Right.
But in this
right.
current political environment, to say defund the police, they have that's just a phrase, and it's an easy phrase for the wrong side to run with,
But
and
I
that's
think-
that's what they did.
I think.
I know what they meant,
But I think any phrase that you used, they would have found a way to demean it,
Well,
to change it around to make it mean something.
it was
that
a
it
catchy
doesn't.
phrase. I just think they should have come up with another phrase. Reallocate dollars. Reform the police.
You can't reform the police.
It's
In-
a phrase,
in
but it's a phrase you
But in
can't.
actuality, look how long they've been trying to reform the police. It don't make no difference.
Like I said, deform.
Deformed. There you go.
Deform.
They already deformed. Many of them
Sorry?
deformed.
Deform the police. That would be a better phrase.
And why is that a better phrase?
Because it's funnier.
Because it's funnier. So we can walk around with some deformed guys in blue
Deformed.
uniforms.
Yeah.
You deformed.
Oh, that would be a whole nother.
3 minutes. That's what 3 minutes. 3 minutes. What can you do in 3 minutes?
Hold on, 3 minutes. You can eat a meal. You can eat a meal in 3 minutes.
That's not what you was thinking when you
I'm
said
not
that.
like you.
What does that mean?
We'll talk about it offline.
I need more than 3 minutes. I'm telling you right now. 3 minutes is not that doesn't even get started. I mean, wait a minute.
Did you all see Marjorie Taylor Greene presiding over the House?
Yeah, because she's
bringing the
Speaker Pro Tem.
Yeah.
She's Speaker Pro Tem.
She's the real speaker.
Yeah,
What?
She's the real
she's
speaker.
that's true.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yeah,
yeah.
she's the real speaker.
She's the real a lot of things, isn't she?
Exactly.
She and Matt,
She's a real
she and Matt Gates are the puppet masters.
Matt Gates.
Mhm.
Matt Gates got away with some
Not yet.
things. Not yet.
They claim they're still investigating,
Mm.
but it'll be like Trump 10 years from now
Mm.
and stuff like that.
Well,
She's a joke. She's a clown, but people take her seriously. So
And as you said, the number one fundraiser. And there is
yeah.
talk. I hear at least two folks being considered by Trump. One is to be his running mate.
really, who?
One is Ambassador Nikki Haley.
He's serious.
I think Bobby
I've
Henry
heard,
should be
and
Trump's running mate. I really do. I think Bobby Henry should be Trump's running mate. What do you say, Bobby?
Bobby, your reaction?
Yeah, if that would keep DeSantis from, being the president, of course I would be Trump.
I think y'all black folks in Florida down there, y'all like DeSantis. I've been hearing a
Really.
little bit support. I think
What do you say, Stevie Larkin?
You made him put down his drink.
What do you say, Stevie?
You made him put down his drink.
Steve
Yeah.
said no comment. Well, this is how we conversate with the black press, unfortunately, at times. But thanks anyway. These two guys, man, we're done here. We're done. Thanks for watching. Terry, she's back. She